that he's done has been great up until this point, and he's continued to do great. The name of the book is called Contempt. I'm asking everybody to go to your Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, run the numbers up for my brother, because it's a great read and he's a great person, and I'm so proud of him. And ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him to the A60 stage, Mr. LeRenyae Watkins.
My guy.
What's up, bud?
You have me in tears, bro. Have me in tears just rolling, man. My guy, man.
You know, I gotta do it right. I gotta do it right. We can't do it at all.
Love the intro, man. That's typical.
What's going on, my brother?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. You doing all right?
Man, I'm blessed. That's all I can do is continue to do what I do and have fun doing it. You only live once.
Yes.
You gotta enjoy it while you can.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. I know we've been trying to put this together for well over a month. So I appreciate you just staying on me, because I wasn't going to be anywhere else for my first sit down other than talking with you, man. So I'm glad we finally got this together.
Salute. And I appreciate the opportunity, because I'd rather get in the front door before it gets to the point to where I can't get to you. Like, I can't even get an interview if I do it. I know. Like, I can't even.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, like you said in the intro, man, like, you always been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's a testament to, just who you are, but also, the bond that we've always had, man, regardless. And it's stood the test of time, man. So I'm honored to be here, bro.
Definitely. Listen, you gotta let everybody know where you're from. A lot of people don't know you. They know you Dallas, but tell little people about yourself real quick.
Yeah, so originally born right outside of Chicago in Madison, Illinois. Blessed to be an adopted baby to a beautiful family. So I was raised in Bettendorf, Iowa, up north. The youngest of four, so I'm always gonna be the baby, always getting my way. We moved down to Texas in 1990. The first thing I saw was, the Cowboys winning championships. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking life is sweet and everything like that. So it's been a beautiful time in Texas, man. Just being here, living in North Texas. I'm blessed to have been, the father of three beautiful children right now, and like what we're here to talk about today, man. Like, just the path of writing, and where that started and how that began. So I think it's a blessing just to kind of be in this situation where, because we moved down here and because I've met the people that I've met, I fell into the opportunities that I've had. So man, just living in North Texas and enjoying the hot life down here.
It's definitely that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
And no complaints about that. It's definitely that.
Yeah.
Listen, now we was talking about you playing in the street ball game.
Yes.
So you got to let people know that. Did you actually started playing basketball? Was that your first love? Before you moved to other stuff? Was that your first love? Was it football? Let people know.
Yeah, basketball was my first love, hands down, and that didn't even pick up until when we moved down here. So I'm always in the driveway working on my game. Allen Iverson is my GOAT. I don't know if you can see in the background, but I got my picture up. It is funny because I was blessed to meet him this year. Matter of fact, too, at a meet and greet. So that was kind of full circle moment for me, man. Just meeting my childhood hero. But basketball was my first love. Played all the way up through my junior year, and then like you said, man, you were nice enough to get me on board. And I hate that you called me out for the cardio, because it's true, man. I didn't get a bucket, bro. I think I got like one shot off, man. I was mad, but I was showing out in warm-ups though, and I got my little half man, half amazing. I got my little signed jersey as well, so I think that was really dope, man. But I mean, that experience, you brought me down to Louisiana, man, and that was at the peak of and one. You know what I'm saying? So that was starstruck for anybody. Being in that thing, man. Gym was crowded and everything like that. Dope environment. So that was a dope time, man. I just didn't score a bucket.
Yeah, you know what? It happens.
No.
And plus it's a lot of pressure. You was with, that team. That was Team Headache. Of course, we had we had Go Get It. I think Escalade popped out. So we had a lot. Springs was on that. Springs was a part of that tour. So, we had a lot of great, Obi Toppins, his dad was on that. My boy Swole, Shout out to Headache. That's my brother. So we had put that team together, and that's all we did. We just went and played games.
Yeah.
And then, when you said you wanted to, let me come out and I still remember asking, can he play, man? Because I'm telling you, if he come out here and he gonna make me look bad. So
begging, bro. I was begging.
So I said, nah. I said, come on through. We're gonna have us some fun, and that's what it was. It was really just having some fun at the end of the day. And that was my introduction to really getting to know who you was as a person. So, and I thought that was dope. We had that in common. That basketball was just an avenue for us to meet and talk, and it's still genuine to this day.
Yeah.
Moving forward, where did you get the passion to be I'm gonna go music, because a lot of people don't know you did music. So people tell people a little bit about that. When did you start that process?
So I'll start with the writing part, because the music falls in the middle of that road, right? So I've told this story. I love this story because my sister used to live with us when we moved down to Texas, and she had her kids and everything like that, right? And my nephew, he used to come home and always cut the TV off, because I'd be chilling after school, and he would cut the TV off and turn it on to Barney, the purple dinosaur. And we had these writing assignments back in 6th grade, and my nephew came in and he popped on Barney, and I was just on the couch and I started hate watching Barney. And I'm like, man, like my writing assignment just turned into a poem about this. And it was called Purple Green 13. I turned it in next day at school, didn't think nothing of it. English teacher comes back. God bless Miss Ashton. If you ever watch this is for you. She comes back to the class, bro. Hey, did you write this? And I'm like, yeah, I wrote it. Something wrong. And she loved it. She asked me again, like, did I get any assistance on it? Because she wanted me to read it in front of everyone. And I'm like, it's just a dumb poem about a purple dinosaur. Walks me up to the front of the class, gives me the same kind of intro you just gave me and everything like that. And I start reading it, man. And I think what caught me was getting reactions of laughter and people kind of leaning in and like taking what I wrote seriously, man. And speaking it out loud, bro. I was like, man, like this is actually kind of good. You know what I'm saying? Turns out it ended up getting published in the Plano Star Courier, which was like our local paper. So my first taste of creative writing took off. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of gave me like this confidence, bro, where it's like, man, like let me try to chase this thing, because I didn't think about writing, like you said, man, like it was all basketball 24/7, right? So years go by and I graduate high school, and now I'm starting to do like poetry and putting like these small poetry books together, and coming up and doing Facebook groups, and creating my own Facebook poetry group. Small, like 15, 20 people and whatnot, but I always had like a small community. And a couple more years go by. Now I start getting into open mic. You know what I mean? Like when I was married at the time, I was doing spoken word with Ricky Smiley and his group down in Addison. So now I'm like really kind of getting a following and whatnot. And then that's when I met a singer who's in Plano. And, her name is Samarka, and her boyfriend his name is KJ. And they were kind of like a duo. They did their rapping and singing. Samarka couldn't write songs. Me being a writer, I'm like, okay, well, cool. I'll start writing your songs. And so that's kind of how I got into music. And, but then that brought out, hey man, I kind of like this, like being in the studio, being around the studio work. And as your point, that's when I got into rapping and everything like that, and kind of took off from there. So I'll stop there, because you always loved my music. So I know I know you want to sit here. I ain't got no tracks on me right now, bro. But I want to stop there.
What was the name of that song y'all did?
It was called Right Beside Me. Yeah, it was called Right Beside Me. I ain't gonna lie, the hook was fire.
It was fire.
The hook was fire, bro. And I was on that thing like Twister, bro.
You got to figure out how to just put it out there, just so people can hear it. I don't know. You got to dig in one of your hard drives or something. Yeah. Don't make me go find it and repost it. I'm telling you that right now, because I know it's somewhere. It's somewhere.
It's probably in like my first Yahoo email somewhere, bro. But I mean, it was just a cool experience, man. Because I mean, like you said, you were a promoter. and you did the. I was thinking about this morning. And you did the Black Family Reunion tour, and you know all the family came out, and like I think Jay Holiday was the main act, and like you know he was popping at the time, and so like I'm like, damn, I'm opening up for Jay Holiday. I'm one of the acts opening up like that, right? So we got on there. I think we performed. I think we blended it to where we were able to get 2 songs in. I think I did like 1 song by myself. She did hers, and then we did the Right Beside Me joint. And again, bro, like same thing with the writing assignment, man. Like when I got off stage, bro, and I kind of walking around the yard and all that other stuff, like around the grounds, and you know just going to get something to drink, man. I got a couple people coming up to me, hey, young bro, man, I love what you was doing up there, man. I love your message, and I'm like, dang, man, like, yeah, like I felt vindicated, man. Like you know, like something it was successful. So yeah, man, did a couple years in the music thing. So
yeah,
you know,
that was fun. That was fun. That's fun to see you do. I mean, listen, that's just another part to get you to where you are today. But you can't forget that part because you wouldn't be able to get to this part. You know what I'm saying? It helped builds up everything. So that was dope. Yeah. Now, the reason why we're here. You have this book called Contempt.
Yeah.
Where did this process start to actually decide to write this and say, I'm going full throttle with this?
For sure. Yeah. So 2010, I'm at a point in life where, you know, was married, got a divorce. And so, you know, all I had in my possessions at that point was a motorcycle, which I bought off my coworker, my Xbox, and my laptop. That's all I had in my apartment at the time. Right. And came home from work one day, man, you know, just really just in a state of like, I need to find like an escape. And I've always been a writer. Writing has always been my escape. Wasn't hooping, wasn't doing the music thing. So like writing was like my vehicle. And what you pointed out, the first book that I wrote, you know, it was called Nobody Watching. And I came home that day, bro, and like I just popped open my laptop and I just started just writing down character names. You know what I mean? Like just it started with that. And I put the laptop away. Came back home the next day. I looked at it and I started adding more. And it started building and building and building to where I got that first chapter out, you know? And I think one of the things that someone told me is, you know, everyone can have a good idea, but the story is what sticks to you. And every day when I'm coming home, it's just like it started sticking to me like, okay, you know what, I can come up with this plot and I come up with this twist. And at the time, I was reading a lot of this is a Black author. His name is Michael Baisden. One of his famous books he came out with was it's called The Maintenance Man. And like, you know, so I'm reading some Michael Baisden books. And so like I'm putting time in on this book, man. And like the bad part about it is that I got about 56,000 words. It's a pretty decent size for a novel. I never did anything with it. And when you talk about where I am today, Contempt comes from the bones of that book, you know, just the concept of having multi-layered characters, having, you know, just an ensemble cast, having twists and turns in a different kind of thriller in that genre, but also not wanting something sitting in my inbox and doing nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like that hunger for that, what I found in Contempt was a hunger that I had in that first book. You know what I mean? So like being able to kind of tell myself, if I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do it and just not do anything with it. And I think that was my first inclination of like, okay, I'm going to take this serious. No matter how long it takes, I got to get to the finish line on that.
What was your process though? Because I know you started 2010. I know you had started putting down the characters, as you said. Wait, hold on. Before we get to that, how did you come up with the characters? Are they off actual people you know? Like, how did you come up with those characters? That's what because you know, some people say this person's name remind me of this person. That's how I got the character's name. Is that what happened? Because I want to know the setup. Because that might be one of the characters. You know what I'm saying?
I'll never make a character off somebody I know. Ever.
Oh, okay, good.
Because it's funny because one of my close friends, my dear close friend, when I first started talking about the first book, oh, make me a character. Oh, I want to be this and I want to be that. And I'm like, man, that's the problem. Is like, it would be an injustice to that person, but also an injustice to my character, because I love stories that get real gritty, that where my characters have flaws. And so when you asked about my process, it is, what are the problems that this person is facing? How can they solve it? What are going to be the challenges that they're going to be facing? And I can't make it easy for my character on this road, right? So, yeah, I mean, it goes with understanding, the people that are around you, but not using them, more so just kind of using the influence of your imagination on, who this main character could be, and how many challenges could I give this person. So, yeah, no character I make will ever be based off of anyone I know. So you're safe.
Good, thank you. I appreciate that, because I would hate to be the one to get his head cut off or something like that, and be like, "Yo, I can't believe he did that to me. I thought we was cool." You know what I'm saying?
Even if I use a name that's close to yours, bro, it is just by coincidence. Just by coincidence. That's all.
Now you started that journey in 2010, right? So now you got the characters down pat. You're doing the bones from reading that other book. What's the process of putting it all together into making it one? So now
that's close to yours, bro. It is just by coincidence. Just by coincidence. That's all.
Now you started that journey in 2010, right? So now you got the characters down pat. You're doing the bones from reading that other book. What's the process of putting it all together into making it one? Like from the introduction to your chapters, because now you got to break all that down.
Yeah.
What's that process like?
Yeah. So when I started Contempt, I had to tell myself I'm not going to use the actual plot of that book. So what's going to be my plot, right? I wanted it to be in the legal thriller genre. For some reason, I just was fascinated with crime thrillers.
I love that too. I love them all. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's always going to be like my favorite. You know what I mean? So I think the first thing that I had to decide was, where is it going to be? In my process. That first book, it was in Los Angeles, which is a easy thing to write about. But I wanted grit. I wanted a city that could tell a story. I wanted to learn about a new city. I didn't want to make it Dallas because I lived in Dallas. I didn't want to make it Chicago. I fell into Baltimore for some reason. I've watched The Wire. I think that I can say it's got heavy influence, from the universe of The Wire and everything that was. But I think, man, like, once I chose the city, everything was just downhill running. You know what I mean? Like, okay, it's going to be a legal thriller. My main hurdle was, can I tell this story the way I want to? And my vision was, I want this to feel like 3 books in one. Okay, now what does that mean, right? My main character is Sean Davidson. He's a lawyer. And the plot of the book is, he inherits his father's last trial. His father dies, and literally, like the opening scene, there's no secret, but his father dies, and so he's inheriting his father's last trial. The other points of view for this story is a police detective, but then also a journalist. And so my process was, can I thread a story that tells 3 different lanes and then ends up coming together? You know what I mean? Like, so like now I have to create Sean's arc. I have to create the detective's arc. I have to create, the journalist's arc and everything like that. So my process goes with a lot of research, watching different crime dramas, watching court TV, trying to understand police procedure, and then throwing the fact that this story takes place in 2006. Now, 2006 is pretty much the last time before like social media blew up. So I didn't want a story that existed to where if you saw this on the news happening, Al, you could just tweet about it and find out about it. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
I almost had to kind of like relive 2006 and
always backtrack everything.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what limitations were there in that analog digital era before like the social media boom kind of took off and made everything more accessible and easier to find? So Just a lot of research, man, going into it. But learning about Baltimore, not even having to been there yet. I've never gone there. It was a dope experience, bro.
Well, you probably need to shoot a video out there or something if you're gonna do the beta. And another good story that well, you need to look this up if you ever seen it. It's called The Corner.
Okay.
Based off of, it's in Baltimore too.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about get drugs off the street. And it's kind of similar to The Wire. It's 8 episodes. It's on YouTube. It's called The Corner. And it's a really, really, you would like it. And it's about B-Mall. So it'll give you more insight on it too.
Okay.
Charles S. Dutton is in there. A lot of good actors and actresses that are really good in there. I love movies. So, that's one of the things I love to watch.
For sure.
So that's good. Now, when you say you did research, your police character, correct? And your lawyer, did you actually reach out to policemen and lawyers to get information, or did you just look up the information to just give you more intel for putting it in there?
Yeah, I tried, and nobody responds.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to reach out to like a PD. Hey, I'm an author, trying to learn a little bit more. You get no bites back. Because at that point, who am I? I'm just a complete stranger, right? But thank God for YouTube. So it's easy to just pull up videos. Okay, well, let me look up a police blotter. What's the procedure like? I had to look up gang culture. Because one of the things that the detective tackles is the gang ties to the main trial. There's a gang out there, BGF, Black Guerrilla Family, and so I had to start understanding gang culture, what it's like on the outside, what their neighborhood was, what the territory was, which is the spot called Sandtown, which is in the book, but also understanding what it's like on the inside, in the correctional unit, because my character, who is the defendant, who this trial swarms around, he deals with that, like he has a run-in with that, right? So it's just different layers, man, of just watching endless YouTube and research and Googling and all that other stuff to try to make it as accurate. Because one thing I didn't want, bro, is like, I didn't want somebody who lives in Baltimore to call my work out. Oh, it's not like that. It isn't like that. So like, I had to go so deep into understanding what everything was like without actually having been there before. So,
I could have got you the police officer. I know a bunch of cops.
You know everybody.
I know it's a gift and a curse sometimes. I know a lot of cops up in the New York area, familiar with that B-More area. I actually know some cops that's in the gang unit. So
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I know some feds. I know a couple of people. I'm well rounded. What do you say?
Yeah. But that's why it took, because this thing took 3 years, bro. I picked this back up. Oh yeah, I picked this back up, man, in 2021. So and honestly, it might have taken longer because we talk about my writing journey. Like I stepped away from writing for like 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? Like just all together. And I made a video about this on social media, and it was kind of like my first time saying this out loud, where it's like, yo, like I felt empty. You know what I mean? Like that's what writing meant to me, where I wasn't writing poems and I wasn't actively trying to revive the 2010 novel. And it's not like for someone to like think about basketball. You're hooping for your entire life, and all of a sudden, let's say you get hurt. Okay, you're gonna be out. You're gonna be on the shelf for about 8 months, maybe longer. It's hard to just pick up a basketball and start going. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was hard to pick this pen up and start writing poems the way I wanted to, the way I know my talent could express itself. It was hard to try to wrap my mind around, can I even write a story again, bro? So when I finally got around to it, and life was life and whatnot, but when I finally got around to it and decided that this is what I wanted to do, yeah, man, like it took about 3.5 years of my life of just really locking in. So a lot of that is because of the level of research that I was willing to do to kind of make sure that I do this right.
Now you said it took you 3 years. Did you really have to lock in? Like, what was that process like when you said 3 years? So I'm sure you gave up a lot to get this done, to get to this finish line. So what was that like? Like, what did you do in the process of those 3 years? You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
we all lock in. We all do
Mhm,
different things. You know,
mhm,
we cope differently. We handle things differently. And
mhm,
what I mean by that, like if I know I got to lock in, I shut down. Like I got
mhm,
to shut down. Like I get my mind right to go do whatever. If I got to go away for a couple of days just to get my mind right
mhm.
to whatever I need to do. So what was your process like in that 3 years to get this book completed?
Unhealthy because because I had I took it to the extreme of isolation, um, because there were so many times where friends were, hey, you want to come out and kick it? Nope, got to write. Hey, you want to do this? Nope, got to write. I mean, I'm turning down family functions. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because I got to write, and that doesn't mean let me just put a couple words on the page and kind of just let it be. That
Right.
is writing sessions that start at 6 p.m. and go till 3 a.m. And I got to be
Mhm.
at work the next day at 8 a.m. Or
Mhm.
that's writing sessions that start at 4:30 in the morning, take me until 7. I'm literally getting dressed for work and writing and doing whatever and doing my thing, and I'm out the door and I'm at work writing stuff on like napkins and all this other stuff, or I'm taking my laptop with me and writing in my car on lunch, and then doing another 5-6 hour session at night. And I remember one time, bro, like I thought I was gonna get fired from my job because we went out for a happy hour, and I think at this point I was probably in like my second draft of the story. I was getting my legs under it and everything like that, and we got a new VP. My boss was like, "Okay, you know what? We're gonna wrap up here, team, and we're gonna shoot down the street to go meet, the new VP. She wants to meet all of y'all." And I'm like, I gotta go home and write. Like I'm thinking this to myself as we're getting the bill.
Mhm.
I'm like, man, she's telling me we got to go. And I'm like, I got to go home. And I tell her to her face, like, I have to go home and do my writing session. And the way she looked at me, I was like, yeah, I'm probably done. But like, this is what I got to do. And I think at that point, when I made that decision, that's when I knew, like, okay, I think I can finish this thing because I'm willing to risk losing my gig to complete this journey.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I mean, that's what my process was, man, over and over again for 3 years.
But people got to respect that too. Like, that's your journey. This is your passion. This is your dream. And yes, you're going to give up a lot to make sure you get what you need because you're giving up a lot
Yeah,
already. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and to go on to something else, I had to tell Trey this about playing basketball or playing
Mhm.
sports. You're going to miss a lot because you are an athlete.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to understand, like, your holidays might be gone. You might be on a bus. You might be in another city. You might be somewhere. Your family gonna be around, but you gonna miss a lot. But it doesn't stop you from getting what you want in life. So you're gonna have to give up something to get something. So
100%.
it's a great point to what you said. You had to give up a lot.
Yeah.
Um, to finish up on that, now I know everybody's gonna ask this question.
Mm.
You're gonna get this a lot. You finished with this book. Was you in the process of starting book number two?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Oh, bro, let me tell you something real quick, man. Another first off, going back to what you said about Trey, I got to give a shout out to my kids, man, because you know they if they couldn't see the purpose of what I was doing, and
Mhm.
if they couldn't understand that dad has to do this thing. Now, granted, I mean, we still did our thing. Like
Of
I'm
course.
still I'm dad first always, first and foremost, right?
Definitely.
But for them to see me when I put my oldest daughter down and whatnot, and like for them to see me like just lock in every single night and not ask questions like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" Like they still got their attention. They still were fulfilled. They were still taken care of. Like, and they supported me. And it was a
Mhm.
beautiful thing to see, bro. Like, when we talk about our kids, man, like nothing matters if they don't see the purpose and if they're not here with you on the ride, right? So
Agreed. Agreed.
I kind of want to shout them out, man. But
Gotcha.
yeah, like, the other thing about what you said about multiple books, yeah, there's so this thing that I'm building out, right? So it's supposed to be 7 books altogether.
Okay, so you got that plan. Okay.
100%. So Contempt is part of a trilogy. It's going to be, I can tell the titles, it's not spoiling nothing. So the trilogy is Contempt. The second book is going to be called Capo. The third book is going to be called Complicit. Now that's the trilogy in its own, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 books planned that go back to the late 70s and the early 80s. And that's called Architect and the Iron Rail. And so then I also have 2 books that go into like 2010. That's called Sentinel and Sandtown. So it's this massive universe that I'm building. Now, why is that important to me? Because I tell everybody, man, like, I built this for adaptation. To me, that's the ultimate goal. This isn't about writing a book to get rich and and all this other stuff. Like, it is about, man, I want to see it on screen, because, bro, like, that's how I write. And I think when I give you your book, and by the way, a quick aside, you're gonna get your book, bro.
I'm just saying, like,
I heard that slander too. You're gonna hold on.
I'm just saying,
you're gonna get your book, bro.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Hold on, because people think I'll be playing about my boy, dog. I got your box right here, dog. I got your box. You're gonna get your book. You gonna
see
get
that?
your book.
Let's see that. See, I had to get under his skin to make sure I get it, so I'm glad now he don't put it out there.
I'm like, hold on, he ain't. but no, to me, it's about adaptation, man. Like, seeing this as a mini series. When the feedback that I want from people is like, it felt like I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt like I was watching a movie. I've gotten a couple early reviews on like Goodreads and Amazon and all that other stuff, and like, the core idea around those reviews is it feels like cinema, and that's what I'm chasing, man. So, like, in order to do that, Contempt has to be how I see it, as like the proof of concept that this is what's being built in this world as like the baseline. Like, Contempt is basically in the middle of both of those other stories that I'm going to be telling, to the front and to the back. So yeah, it was important for me, man, to like roadmap what's going to be the second, what's going to be the third, what else can we do with these characters. That's why, like, these characters that you read about, they may not get all the page time that you want them to, but when they do, there's going to be depth, and there's going to be intrigue, and there's going to be context to them. It's not just going to be filler to where they're just standing there receiving lines and receiving words and doing nothing with the plot. Like, everyone plays a part in this thing.
Now, I know you're big into the AI thing. Is this similar to how you put it together, like a multiverse type thing, where all of these books eventually bump heads, or the characters all bump heads somewhere at the end? Or does it all somehow all have a way of connecting? You know how some people will do a story and they go, well, this is such a person. By now they get the 6th book, and they're like, oh, he brought this person back into this book. Like, is that something you're creating?
Some of that I can't tell.
Okay, so I'll go that far.
Yeah, because put like this. So to do the whole AI thing. So the AI thing, first and foremost, it's not on my writing. I write all my stuff on my iPhone. Right. Where the AI comes in is the architecture of building my website, and doing a little bit of cover design, but also, like you said, so like if you go to my website, you'll see like these cinematic trailers, or you'll see like cinematic shots, because again, it goes back to the proof of concept. Like, in my delusion of this journey, someone is going to find this story. Someone is going to see the breadcrumbs of what I built, and it's going to look like a massive storyboard of an entire season 1 of TV. That's my vision. Ultimately, I want to teach myself to, start writing scripts, because I think that's important as well. TV is not going to go anywhere. So like I am starting to kind of draft snippets of like, okay, well, how does how do books translate into TV? You know, and what would I have to cut from Contempt, or what would translate from Contempt onto the TV screen and make it compelling?
Mhm.
So, you know, when it comes to the whole AI thing, I've become great at building the world from the page. So anything that I build that's on my website or what I post on Instagram is directly from the pages. Like those scenes aren't made up, they are directly from the pages, because I want people to have like a quick peek into what my book is about. And
Right.
all this technology we got now, I mean, like, yeah, why not? I mean, I think I'm trying to take advantage of all the tools I can.
You should. I mean, it's out there for you to use. So why not use it? You know, everybody else is doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I would use it too. I guess the next thing is like I'm seeing, because I did see some of your trailers. It looks like a live cinema. Like it look dope. Like I'm like, yo, I don't know if he was a director behind this. Like I don't know what he did in this stuff. Like it looked real. Like I'm waiting for the movie. You know what I'm saying? So is that the theory behind this whole process? Because you know, everybody now is everything is jumping to Netflix, or it's going to YouTube, or it's going to Amazon, or it's going to Prime. Like, is that really the main focus? I know you said you want to make it a cinema movie type thing, but was that the focus from the beginning, to build something to that be seen from your writing?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing that I needed to take care of was to get the book across the finish line, you know, to show that it could be done. But within those lines, you know, I mentioned it earlier. My number one compliment that I hope to get is that it felt like I was there. It felt like I was watching a movie, you know. And so how do you accomplish that, you know, within the book, right? Without being heavy-handed, you know. So it does take a lot of I think it goes with the research. Like I gotta know Baltimore like the back of my hand. You know,
Right.
I gotta know, you know, what the streets smell like. I gotta know when the crowd is, you know, when they gather, you know, near City Hall. I gotta know what a protest looks like. You know, I have to know what the domino sugar sign, you know, looks like in Baltimore at night, how the red glows over the harbor. You know what I'm saying? So like when you start understanding your environment, and I think that's why I pointed out earlier, man, like once I found where I wanted to do this thing, now it started making sense, because that was kind of like my North Star. Like, regardless of whatever my character does, I know what he's gonna be around, and that's Baltimore. And it has to be authentic as possible to make the reader at least feel like they're right beside my character every single step of the way.
Now, the name of the book is Contempt. Why did you
Mhm.
choose that name, and how does it filter into the characters that's going on in the book?
It's a good question, man. So the original title was called Peer of Judgment. The reason why I came up with that is because, you know, going back to when I first started looking at the old novel, the first idea I had was, okay, there's a crime in Los Angeles. The prosecutor is the father. The son just graduated from college. I wanted to do father versus son in court and kind of make that a thing. I just named it Peer of Judgment because it was like a double entendre, you know, like a play on words where, you know, the peer is your father, and, you know, have this whole symbolism thing, right? When I moved into Baltimore, Contempt just spoke to me, because that's what I wanted every character to feel when they move throughout this city. I wanted them to feel contempt. I wanted them to feel like they were somewhat out of place. You know, one of the things that I made sure in this novel is that, and I'm using this loosely, race is kind of irrelevant. Like, it doesn't matter that, yeah, Sean is black. He's the main lead. His wife is black. His father's black. The mayor's black. Cool. But then I wanted to kind of get a little tricky. So, like, the kid that he's defending is Italian. The reporter is white. The police detective is Korean. You know, like, but it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think with that is regardless of what ethnicity you are, the rules of the city are gonna trump everything. And I think that's why when I named it Contempt, it had to make the reader feel like that. It had to make me feel like that there was some sort of injustice. Like
Mhm.
if you look at my cover, a pretty common thing about a legal thriller is the scales of justice, but my scales of justice tip one way, and they tip one way heavily. And
Mhm.
so that's why, like, when you talk about contempt and you have the symbolism of the scales of justice, like, you pick up my book and you're already seeing something's off. Like, something like the title says what it says, but like, why are the scales of justice leaning one way? Are they leaning towards truth, justice? Are they leaning towards injustice? Are they leaning towards,
Mm.
what I'm saying? So it's like it there's symbolism within it, but I think every character that I created, I wanted them to feel like they were just out of place, and I didn't want like a barrier like ethnicity to play a part. I just wanted the rules to kind of be different.
And it's
That
funny.
makes sense.
I was going to ask you about the cover of your book. Like I was just literally about to ask you, like, why did you come up with that cover? And you just did it all right then and there. Because I was just like, I saw it. I said,
Yeah,
oh, why did he come up with that?
yeah,
So and you pointed it out. So which
yeah.
is great that you did that.
So I was inspired by so when I found Baltimore and I started digging around, if you've ever seen, like I said, I mentioned it before, the domino sugar sign,
Mhm.
um, it's just so dope to look at. I don't even know why. Domino sugar is just a sugar plant in
Mhm.
Baltimore, but there's just this massive, if you've never seen it, Google it. And it's just this massive sign that says Domino Sugar. And it's like this red glow. And I'm like, man, like I love those aesthetics, man. Like I love the red haze around it.
Mhm.
I love the darkness when like it's real dark and it shines over the harbor. Because again, man, like I'm doing research on this stuff, so I'm YouTubing how this sign looks, what the sugar plant means, and what does it mean to the city and all this other stuff. So like I built my entire visual aid, my website, the cover design, like anything I post, even our promotion thing, like everything
Yeah.
is gonna be in like this deep red, black haze because it's because of the domino sugar sign. So when I
Mhm.
came up with that cover, man, I was like, I gotta keep it consistent all the way. So
That's definitely consistent.
yeah,
The fact that you did the research behind that, a lot of people, they do stuff, they don't do the research behind it. You actually put your foot in that to say, hey, I'm going to promote all this all the way, or I'm not going to do it all the way.
for sure. For
So that's
sure.
good, man. That's 100% good. So where are you at now?
Mhm.
Meaning, what's next for you? Like, what's next? What we got going on next?
I'm dropping another album. No.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay.
but if I was serious, you
Release,
hey, whatever.
release date. I need
Whatever.
that.
Yeah, so okay, so Contempt, it came out on Father's Day.
Yeah.
The sales are going good. The momentum I feel for a first time indie author who's self-published, I feel I'm in a good spot, 5 weeks in. Um, Behind the scenes, I've been trying to reach out to like different agent queries.
Mm,
Haven't been getting any progress there, but that's fine. That's normal.
mm,
Been reaching out to a lot of bookstores, not just in Dallas, but also in Baltimore as well.
mm,
Um, and I was going to save this to the end, but I've already started putting this out. I finally locked down my first book event, for instance,
mm,
right? So like August 22nd, I'll be at Talking Animal Books. There's a
mm,
book crawl going on in North Texas. A book crawl is basically a bunch of bookstores get together and people in the community are going to visit these different bookstores, and it's kind of like a thing where like they'll find new books and have different events and all that other stuff. So I'm going to be at the bookstore that is hosting this entire thing,
mm.
have like about 2 hours
That's
just to
dope.
get out and meet new readers. And I think that's my goal now. Where we're at is how can I get new readers, because I've already gotten the organic push of friends and family and all this other stuff on social media. Now it's how can I market myself? And I think that's the challenge that I've been running into is man, I got on TikTok too late. Like I got on TikTok too late in the game. Yeah, I'm starting to build over there, but it's like I got to get on TikTok more. I got to present more. I got to do this more, which is good to get off the ground.
Everybody likes that face interaction.
100%, bro. So it's posting content, thinking about content, which that in itself is a full-time job. And honestly, bro, like I don't even think a lot of people who don't know me know this. I quit my job in February to do this, to get this across the finish line. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Like I 20 years.
Why did you do that? I'm just asking, because it's a passion.
Yeah. It's put like this. 20 years I've put in sales since like 2005. Been in sales, wireless sales, Verizon Wireless, face-to-face sales, corporate sales, cybersecurity. I worked at automation sales, and then I was at a consulting agency, big consulting company. And I was there over the last year. Like I said, I was working, but I was also writing. And it got to a point, man, where I was doing my thing at that job, but like I felt like I was losing myself. I was losing momentum with the book. And I'll skip the boring part of the corporate politics and all that other stuff. But it got to a point, man, where I had an opportunity to make a decision. Mm-hmm. And when that door opened to where I could say, okay, you know what? If I don't have to worry about money, can I give myself 6 months to get this book across the finish line? That was a question I asked myself. And that opportunity came. And I immediately took it. Mm-hmm. When I tell you, man, like I will do that 10 times out of 10, because no one can ever take away the fact that I'm going to bet on myself to complete my dream, and I'm going to just flat out go for it. Mm-hmm. So those days of, balancing work and balancing writing and just trying to, keep my health intact. Now it's, you have to wake up and you got to just do this thing. And you have to just be fully committed to not do 2010 all over again, where you have this thing, this book, this idea stuck in an inbox, and it's kind of just, it's like the ghost that haunts you over and over again. At least for me, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm now chasing the new dream that was also the old dream. So yeah, I wanted to add that in there, man. Yeah, I quit my job, and it's crazy, but it got me to where I wanted to be, and I'd do it all over again, 100%.
Well, it had to be a tough decision, being with kids, of course, what I'm saying, and making sure that time's consuming. You have to financially think this is feasible and everything. So I know that was tough. You know what I'm saying? Well, here's the key component. What was that family support like when you made that decision? Because that's big. When you got either no support, mm-hmm. and then you have support, it's a big difference. What was that like, that family support? How was that?
Man, my family, man, like they're so dope, man. Like, and I'm mad it's taking me almost an hour to kind of get to them, man. Like, my siblings, my parents. I can talk about my core friends all day, but like, my family understood, because this is something that I've been talking about, man. Like they know how long I've been writing, just like how long I've been writing, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't feel like any of them would have not pulled me to the side and been like, "Hey, man, are you sure you want to do this?" You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. This is me coming to the table and basically saying, you know what? Don't worry about me, because I just know, I know the feeling of what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, mm-hmm. And I know that speaking with conviction will get you grace. And when you can speak with, a confidence of like, this is my plan, mm-hmm. my family was just like, we'll rock with it, and I mean, Keisha, my sister, man, like, she was always asking, and she was one of my early readers. And mm-hmm. she gave me my first review. Mm-hmm. And I know like Keisha would never lie to me, like Keisha, because she's a serious reader. You know what I'm saying? So it's, it's like if she's putting her books down to see my first draft or to see one of my later drafts and all that other stuff and giving me feedback and all this other stuff, man. And, you know, my big bro supporting me and you know, my other big sister supporting me. So it's like, it's a dope feeling because when I was able to kind of give them one of those boxes and I recorded each one, like we all celebrated, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like my mom seeing my book for the first time, man, like that was worth it, bro. That was worth it. Like seeing everyone just be like, man, like you did it, you like that was worth it. And they supported me, man, just like my kids did, bro.
You know, it's different when you see the journey from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And it's not like I always say, it's never the finish line, it's a conclusion. We're going to keep going with this. You know what I'm saying? But to actually see the finished product of what you created right here in the handheld book. I have an author and I know him personally. Like I have that. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that away from you. So to say you got this done, that's what I'm more proud of than anything. Like you stuck to your guns, you did the process, you did the work, you said, yo, I'm going to get it done, and you got it done, and look at the product. And it speaks for itself. And for those who don't know, go cop that book, man. Tell them where they can get the book at. Tell them your website so they'll know exactly who you are, your Instagram. Just give them all the information.
Yeah. So I don't know if they can see my name or not, but so LeRenyaeWatkins.com. Once you go there, you'll be able to see the direct links. Or you can go on Amazon, look for my author name as well, LeRenyae Watkins, look for Contempt. It's going to be at Barnes & Noble, half-price bookstores. I got a letter from Barnes & Noble last week because I'm trying to get on their shelves. Okay. And they said they'll put me in their system of over 700 stores. So it should be updated now. Probably by the end of the week, you'll be able to go into Barnes & Noble and order it directly from their system. So still trying to get on the shelves, man, but like been making progress behind the scenes, man, of just outreach, man, just trying to just market this thing and tell people like this thing is coming. So yeah, but you can any major bookstore, you can order it online right now. Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, it'll be free. And it's in all versions, man, hardcover and paperback. And I'm working on audiobook. I'm working on the audiobook.
That's the one right there.
The money. That's the money shot right there. I'm working on the audio.
A lot of people ain't reading. They want you to read it.
Real. Man, like that's the one thing I had to learn, bro, is like the business side of it, man. Like the audiobooks, that's the goal right now in the market space. It is incredibly expensive. But you know, it's something that I'm going into like book 2 and book 3 and all that other stuff. I mean, I know the game now. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not going to take another 3 years to do this thing, but I know the game now. You know, and I think that's the coolest part about it.
And do you have a team around you? I mean, I don't know if you're doing this all on your own. Do you have advisors and you know to help you get that guidance because you had to get it published and you had to get it pushed through. How did that process? Let's talk about that. How did you get your book actually published?
Yeah. So when I started going hard again on this book, my older sister introduced me to a woman who had a publishing company. She's from Houston, and they wanted to see like my first 15 pages. And so that's when I originally looked back at my old novel in 2010. Okay. You know, and even my sister was like, yeah, he has this book, you know, and she described that book. And everybody thought I was going to give that book. But when I looked at it, I'm like, I was in a different place then. I can't do this. Let me start from scratch. I kicked over my first 15 pages to them. She loved it. And she introduced what's called vanity publishing, where you pay a certain fee. And what they'll do is they will basically hold your hand through the entire process. So give you tips about how we can market it, tell me about the technical aspect of, you know, who I need to go through, what I need to save up for, getting my own LLC, which is Raining Words Publishing. So like now I have my own publishing LLC, and just the whole business side of it, right? So if you talk about team, they provided me editors. They provided me with a graphic artist as well, who helped me on the cover design.
Mhm.
So I think that, like I got set up pretty good, man. And again, it's
That's
my
good.
sister meeting someone at a conference and, speaking about my book. Again, it's that support. Like you never know
Praise,
who's
yeah,
talking about you when in the rooms that you're not there.
yeah.
And it turned into this, man. So it really helped me out getting with them because they taught me a lot in this process.
That's what's up, bro. Let's see, word of mouth travels faster than sometimes the internet.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. And more importantly, when people believe,
Mhm.
they're going to support what they believe.
Yeah.
They're going to support the process. If they don't believe in it, they ain't going to support it. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
If they believe in it, they're going to help push. They're going to do everything they can to get you in them rooms that you couldn't get in. Now you can get in those rooms.
Yeah.
So that's a huge dope. And shout out to you for helping me with my flyers personally. I appreciate that. If people need flyers done, he does do that. Just want you to throw it out there. He does a lot of different things. He don't just do this. He does other stuff.
Yeah.
So look him up.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you feel like you want to touch on? I ain't gonna keep you 3 hours because I can do that. We ain't gonna do that. They call it A60, so we gave them A60 month information. We hit them. Is there anything you want to touch on that you felt we didn't touch on?
I think we covered a lot, man. I mean, I think one thing I want to say is that in this time, man, like this has been cool for me because this is my first time really talking about a thing that I've kind of held close to my chest for, over 3 years. And I can't even really say over 3 years. I guess I could say the last 15 to 20 years.
I was about to say it's been a minute, bro.
Yeah, and like there's a certain vulnerability as a creative that, hey, I'm putting something out there. And we have a term in sales. It's called basically it says basically you have to tell me how ugly my baby is. You have to tell me the hard thing, the thing that I may not want to hear, but I have to put myself out there to see good reviews as well as bad reviews and all that other stuff. And so for people who want to write, and I think that I've been approached by like a lot of people, like when I talk about this, where they say like, I want to write my story and I want to write this book and I don't know where to start. Like, man, everyone has a story in them.
Of course.
Al, for you, for instance, man, like, just your past, everything that you've gone through, where you've lived, New York. I mean, like you have 1,000 stories. You've always told me a story. And we've talked on the side. What we talk about? I want to write my book. Yes.
You know what? I'm gonna give the credit to Jaden on that one. I'm gonna tell you why. And not to cut you off, and I apologize.
No, you good.
Jaden on Father's Day brought me a book that says, "Dad, you have a story to tell," right? He said, "You have so many stories. Why don't you just start writing? Because you have so much information. Like you have a story for everything we've done that you went through." And I said, "Man, you know what? I don't know. Like you said, you got to lock in.
Yeah.
You got to lock in and actually sit down." I said, "Well, maybe I can get somebody to record it and I'll just talk all day." And I just can't figure out how to get it done. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I just don't know how to get it done.
Yeah.
Writing is good. I love writing, but I think I need to talk. I love to talk. So I think that, like you said, the audiobook, I would love to. That's me. I can do that all day. I can talk the book through.
But you can easily cut your recorder on your laptop or your device or anything like that and let it annotate for you. And I think that's the point is what I'm trying to say is like, man, like once you get past the idea of, I don't know if anybody's going to read my stuff. And I tell people, man, once you get over yourself, bro, and the fears that we make up in our head, man, like it's really just about putting it down on the page and letting that first draft be ugly. So like my goal, man, I feel like my calling now is how can I help people get those first 15 pages that I the same kind of practice that I put out. Like once you get those first 15 pages, like for instance, I got a guy in group chat. We spoke out in Vegas when I went out to Vegas a couple months ago. And, he was saying, man, I got this, he's a journal. He's been a part of the journalist world, and he's like, man, I got this idea for this fantasy novel, but I keep writing and then putting it down because I think it's stupid. And I'm like, if you just get a couple pages down, and then you come back and show up tomorrow and just try to get in a couple more words down, and then you start tracking that. He texted me last week. He's up to 40,000 words.
Oh my God!
It just takes time, but it also takes less pressure off yourself, man. If you just you only you know your story. You are the expert of your story, bro.
Right.
So like I always want to tell people, man, like once you realize that this isn't about fear, this is about educating us on what you're an expert at. That's your story. And now it's just putting it together. So that's what I want to leave people with, man, is like I hope I can help people start writing their stories, because this is really a club of 1% on earth where people as far as when you're talking about people who complete a story, complete and publish a book, it's a very low percentage of people, bro. It's a very low percentage of people who actually publish a book.
I didn't know that.
It's a very low percentage. I may be off. I looked it up the other day, but it's a very low percentage of people who actually publish a book. Many people start, but to actually fully publish something, man, like I want to bring people in there. I want to bring African-American men into that arena, because there's not a lot of African-American men who are trying to come up and put their stories out there, man. So I think that there's room for everybody, bro. There's room for everybody, man. I wanna do what I can to pull people into that, because I think it's just it's a good feeling to kind of, yeah, my stuff is out there, my book is out there, and like you said earlier, man, nobody can take that away from me.
No, nobody can take away what you've created, and it's your avenue to go, and it's your drive that's going to keep you going. So that's something you got to stick with and always stick with. And as long as you got that motivation and determination, there's nothing else that can be stopped, bro. Everything else on the sideline is on the sideline. Keep that there. But as long as you're driven and you're going in that direction, ain't nothing can be stopped. That train ain't gonna never stop. You just keep moving. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for giving me the first interview. The very first. I really appreciate that. Everybody, go cop that book, Contempt, man.
Yes.
Go cop, show them the book again, man. Please show them the book again. You gotta let them see it. There you go.
Baby. Like I said, my Instagram handle is literally at LeRenyae. If you can see it at the bottom, LeRenyae Watkins, my full name. Feel free to connect. I'm an open book. I'm a sponge for new things, but I'm an open book for anybody who wants to learn how the process is, man. But I hope this helped anybody, and I hope this helped you guys learn a little bit more about me. AP, man, I appreciate you, brother.
Always, man. You know I got you all day. And listen, I think I'm gonna need a character. You know, I mean, I don't know. Get me in book 6 or something. You know, a little something. You know, you need a coach or something. I don't know. Figure it out. You do. You got it. It's all on you. But I really appreciate you. Thank you for giving me your time. And everybody, please go get that book called Contempt. I'm sorry, go get that book called Contempt. It's a great read, and I'm looking forward to getting my book. So when I get it, I'll be able to read it. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you.